You think men and women can be just friends? Think again. She says, we're just friends, but what she really feels is something else entirely. And if you don't notice, you might be setting yourself up for confusion, frustration, and emotional burnout. In this video, I'll break down what's really happening when a woman calls a man her friend and why it almost never stays that simple. The first misconception is obvious: I like talking to her, she's a good person, we've been friends for years. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth: human attraction doesn't disappear just because you label it friendship. She might be comfortable, she might enjoy your company, but attraction is always there, lurking under the surface. And the classic friend argument hits hard: if I wanted more, it would have already happened. That line might sound like a safety net for your ego, but it's a trap. Men hear it and think, okay, I'm safe, nothing will happen. But here's the catch: even if nothing physical happens, you start feeling tension, uncertainty. That discomfort? She notices. She uses it. She subtly starts controlling the dynamic without even realizing it. Now, I've heard countless stories from both men and women. Women coming out of tough breakups, needing support. The best friend is there. She visits, hangs out, they laugh, share stories. And something always shifts. Sometimes it escalates, sometimes it stays under the radar, but the truth is, there's always an underlying current of attraction. Part 1: The Truth About Friendship. Here's a simple fact you can test yourself: try this. For a few months, stop thinking about her sexually or romantically. Just suppress any desire. See if it works. Then she comes over to hang out. What do you feel? Exactly. That attraction is still there. No one is immune. No matter how platonic you think your friendship is, there's always a spark, sometimes subtle, sometimes obvious. So the question isn't whether it exists, it's how strong it is, and how aware you are of it. Countless stories prove this: friends who date, drift apart, reconnect, drift again. The pattern repeats endlessly. Attraction is always present, even if circumstances hide it. The key principle: there is always some level of interest or desire. You can't argue it away. What you can control is your reaction to it. This is where most men get it wrong. They focus on friendship as if it's a separate category, but it's never separate. It's just a different setting for the same human impulses. The difference between a man who is just a friend and a man who's a potential partner is surprisingly simple: she feels a little more pull toward one than the other. That's it. Not magic, not manipulation, just attraction and circumstance. The rest is narrative we tell ourselves. Part 2: Real-life examples. Here's a scenario I've seen many times. A man and woman are close, friends for years. No problems, minimal drama. He starts dating someone seriously, and suddenly, her behavior shifts. She becomes slightly more attentive, subtly flirty, or more emotionally present. He notices, feels discomfort, starts questioning boundaries. She isn't trying to sabotage, she just reacts to the shift in the dynamic. Life changes the conditions constantly. She gets a new job, meets more men, interacts differently with colleagues. He notices her talking more with a male coworker, wonders if something's happening. Even when nothing happens, tension rises. He feels a little anxiety, curiosity, maybe jealousy. These feelings are natural, but they highlight the truth: platonic friendship rarely stays neutral once attraction is involved. Another common scenario: the man declares his intentions: I see a future with you, I want more than friendship. Suddenly, she reacts. She sets boundaries, tests him, asserts her autonomy. This is the real-world filter separating a casual friend from someone who could become a partner. It's not about loyalty, morality, or manipulation. It's about natural human responses to desire and investment. The takeaway: men often get trapped thinking friendship is safe. It never is. Women's interest exists, whether visible or hidden. And the more you ignore it, the more it will manifest subtly, shaping interactions in ways you might not anticipate. Part 3, the underlying principle. Here's the core truth: attraction is always present. Friendship only changes the context, not the chemistry. Men often think, we're just friends, nothing to worry about. But that mindset is misleading. Even small signs, extra attention, subtle teasing, deeper conversations, indicate a pull that exists whether you like it or not. The difference between a casual friend and a potential partner isn't grand gestures or secrets. It's presence, consistency, and the subtle ways she responds to you. The man who notices these signals, stays aware, and maintains his own value becomes the one she actually considers. Women don't need constant drama or grand proof of love. They measure stability, confidence, and value. That's why the man who stays calm, who has his own life, and who doesn't chase constantly is more attractive than the one who invests energy into proving himself. Part 4, Common Pitfalls. Many men make the same mistakes. 1. Over-investing in friendship. They give attention, time, and emotional energy without considering reciprocity. 2. Ignoring boundaries. They assume friendship means freedom to be intimate or casual, but women subtly set limits. 3. Misreading signals. A laugh, a compliment, or a casual touch isn't always platonic. 4. Chasing reassurance. Men often seek confirmation of value, which lowers perceived status. When these mistakes accumulate, the friendship becomes a stress point. Men feel frustrated or anxious. Women notice. Attraction shifts. And suddenly, the dynamic changes, not because she wanted to manipulate, but because human nature reacts to perceived imbalance and desire. Part 5, How it plays out in relationships. I've seen it countless times. A man is friends with a woman, unaware of attraction or misreading it. Then, life shifts, new job, new circumstances, different men in her environment. Even subtle interactions trigger jealousy, curiosity, or tension. If he isn't aware, he spirals, checking phones, analyzing conversations, or overthinking minor details. This anxiety is the feedback loop. It's not her fault. It's biology and social dynamics. She's not scheming, she's responding naturally to his attention, presence, and emotional energy. Contrast this with the man who sets clear intentions, maintains his life, and doesn't chase. He observes, responds intentionally, and protects his value. That's when the friendship or relationship works to his advantage, because he's aware, confident, and grounded. Part 6, Key Takeaways. 1. Attraction never disappears. Labeling a relationship friendship doesn't remove chemistry. 2. Circumstances dictate reactions, life changes, attention shifts, and subtle interactions influence behavior. 3. Awareness beats control. Chasing, overinvesting, or obsessing backfires. 4. Value matters. Stability, confidence, and presence are more powerful than attention or drama. 5. Friendship is never neutral. It's a stage for observing signals and testing alignment for potential partnership. The bottom line: understanding these principles keeps you calm, aware, and in control. You don't need to manipulate, argue, or chase. You just need to see clearly, act intentionally, and maintain your value. Outro/closing thoughts. Men often ask me if women can truly be friends. The answer is yes, but only if you understand the rules. Chemistry, attraction, and human nature always exist. Ignoring them leads to confusion, frustration, and missed opportunities. Your job isn't to control her or prove your worth. Your job is to navigate reality intelligently, recognize the signals, and act in a way that protects your value. That's how friendships and relationships succeed, and how you avoid getting trapped in false assumptions about just friends.